Thank you.
So tell us a little more about some of the individual pieces, why you came up with them and what inspired.
Well, the whole idea was, like I said, I had my vision, but I didn't want it to be 17 pieces of just my vision. So I reached out to friends, first and foremost. Told them what my concept was, that I wanted their piece to express how they felt about the verdict, how they felt about black youth, how they felt about when they were younger. I wanted them to just tell their story. So I guided the direction, but I didn't guide the piece that they created. Once they gave me their sketches or whatever, I'm like, go for it. Like Brother Arande back then, holding the camera, one of his pieces is knowledge. He'd have to explain that so you get the actual clear impression of it, but my impression of it was, you know, a brother just trying to do whatever, reading every book that he could, even falling asleep, but, you know, remember that old thing where you would take a book and put it underneath your pillow, and hopefully the knowledge would seep through the pillow into your brain? That's where I, you know, thought he was going somewhat of the agree with all those different books. So that's my interpretation. But I always say when you have the actual artist in the house to ask them what they meant, that's the best time to ask questions. He has another piece over there called Big Dreams. I have 3 pieces in the show currently. I have Blood in My Eye, which actually was an album cover that I did for Ja Rule. But Walmart and Kmart and all that kind of thing got a little fearful of carrying the cover. So I had to do an alternate version, and that actual piece is inside the CD. And then you have the piece called License to Kill, which to me, I was just expressing the fact that if you kill, shoot a young black brother, more or less you're getting away with it. It's like you can go and buy a license. And license to hunt an animal is like $25. So if you can go get a license and kill a black kid, $25, get away with it, because you have that license to kill, it's the American way. So that piece is just all up in your face, because that's what reality is, it's in your face. There's no sweetener with it. So, don't remember your original question, but I just went on.
Can you talk about some of the other artists?
Okay, I'm sure a lot of people saw this piece when Eric Garner got killed. How many years ago was that? It was
2014.
2014? All right, so this is more graphically done, and it was held at protest, and it more or less was, to me, the visual piece that signified Eric Garner. And the piece is by Adrian Franks. He actually does a lot of the art for Spike Lee, a lot of Spike Lee stuff. And it just so happened he was a fan of my work. So he reached out to me, and when I found out he was that artist of this, I was like, I need you in the show. So we've hung at least 7 times, and this piece is hung, I think, 2 out of the 2 of the shows. So this is the 2nd show that this is hanging in here. So I can't breathe. I mean, that just signifies it all. Another piece over there, Reuben Cheatham. This is a brother armed with pencils. Where normally would be bullets, he has pencils because, once again, it's all about seeking knowledge. It's arming our youngsters with something that no one can take away from them. That's an education, that's knowledge, that's knowing what's going on, that's being, which everybody uses now, is being awoke, it's being aware. And that's what that piece signifies to me. One of my other favorite pieces is by Gerald Jones, who actually is a Vietnam vet. So that piece, when I saw it, I was like, that has to be in the show. Because it's in your face, but in a soothing way. It brings back memories of just being young, being in the street, enjoying life. And because this is a celebration of kids being killed, and when I say celebration, I mean we're honoring them. My aunt passed away, and we used it as a celebration to honor her last week. So death doesn't always have to be sad. I mean, it's a sad event, but you celebrate that person's life, and and that's just one of the visions that I saw where the Trayvon Martin piece is right next to a celebration and joy. Yeah. Want me coming under the piece?
Yeah, actually, can you just walk around and talk about,
Okay.
the mic's cordless, right? Yeah.
Yeah, check one, check two. Trying to take your lane. Which way you want me to just go this way?
Any way you want to go.
All right.
Wherever
so
you're led to.
We go to this piece, which is by Gray Williamson, who is known for his comic books and his cartoons and his art. And I'm saying this in a degree being cocky, but I always reach out to my art friends who are cartoonists and versatile. Because for me, cartoonists are probably some of the most versatile artists that I know because they can do serious illustrations, they can do cartooning, they can paint, they can draw. And this is one of his pieces that's just real graphic. And you will get your own ideas from what it means, but you will not miss the point of it. The red, black, and green, the struggle, and there's so much depth to it from the little quotes on the phone, on the gun. This piece next to it is deadly weapons. Some may not understand what all of the weapons signify. There's a little sarcasm in your face on the fact that over there is a wallet, and if you remember Mr. Diallo, the cops thought his wallet was a gun. So that's why that's signified in the piece as one of the weapons. And this actually is done by my older brother, Stephen LeRoy Davis. This is the knowledge piece that I spoke of by Rondé. Rondé, where are you? Can you step out? Yeah, do me a favor. Either this one or Big Dream, your choice. Explain.
Explain both of them.
Yeah, I was going to explain. I'll explain both.
Say your name.
So knowledge, basically, knowledge was the first. Oh,
Say your name.
Orande Kyrie is my name. So knowledge was the first piece I created when Dre told me the story about 17, what he was trying to do. And right away, I was just thinking about how we are perceived as ignorant.
That's right.
But what I know from being young is totally the opposite. I had a whole bunch of friends that were bookworms and cool at the same time. So like one of my best friends was straight A's all the way from, since I know him, from 9th to high school, 9th to 12th grade, and it was in honor society. But he would always get A's on his tests, do his homework, and he wanted to wear the latest trends and the fashions and everything, but that didn't stop him from doing what he needed to do to excel in his excellence. So knowledge, that's what that's about for me. It's just like, you still can play both sides of the field, be cool.
Be a cool nerd.
Exactly. And on the other side is Big Dreams. Now, Big Dreams is of a little kid who is actually just being consistent.
Sorry.
I was watching a documentary. It was sort of a hoop dream documentary, and the thing that happened was I was intrigued with what's going on with the little guy. Now they showed him as a child, and he actually wound up becoming a basketball player. I'm not really too sure what team and who actually the guy was, and that's why I was like, well, who is this guy? So he actually just kept pursuing his dreams, and the thing they always try to tell you is forget them sports. That's not going to do anything for you. But in actuality, it's if it's sports, if it's wanting to be a doctor, whatever it is, you just stay at it. And you could put He could have been holding a law book or reading some books, comic books, and it would have been a doctor over there too. So this is basically like a surreal picture where he's dreaming, and in dreams anything can happen. So I just got the adult version of him busting out of the poster, and that's basically what it is. It's about consistency, follow through with your dreams, and some of us will, some of us won't, but it's up to you. That's all it is.
Appreciate that.
Which piece you want me to talk about? I'm gonna follow your lead.
Well, we're here now.
Couple of these over here?
Yeah.
All right, another piece here from my older brother, 41 shots. I remember when he painted this was back during the time period when Diallo was killed. He told me the concept that he was gonna do with the flag. You know, he didn't want to put any kind of shots in the actual work, but he still got the point across by having the flag dripping and, you know, just running off blood-wise. Next piece over here, red, black, and blue. A lot of the pieces just speak for themselves, so I will not give any deep explanation on it, because some of them I just want you to feel what you feel. I don't want it to be my experience. I want it to be your experience. Above is blood in my eye that I spoke about. I just wanted to get across the feel of 60s, 50s, that time period, the pain of being black, and some of the last things that certain people's eyes saw. And that was my whole concept and vision behind that piece. When I was discussing what the visuals would look like with Ja Rule, he had a concept for blood in my eye, and I said to him, do you trust me since you called me to create this? Then let me just give you the vision that I see. So I'm glad he let me do my vision, because his vision was not like this. So, and that's a piece that I see all over the internet that I don't even post. But people have, I guess people just feel it and understand it, and it speaks to them. All right. Another piece for me would be the wanted posters. That's just my in-your-face, harsh sense of humor. I wanted you to get up close on each piece and read what the wording says. Our kids are being killed for stupid reasons. So I wanted to do artwork that was stupid but in your face, because if you go in and read why they say the kids are wanted and why you should have caution addressing them, it's because they're going to school, they're walking home, they're talking to their friends. Those are some of the reasons that they are wanted as just young black youth trying to live and survive. The piece above it is from a comic book called Black. The artist's name is Kyrie Randolph. And one of the things that helps me with these type of shows is the relationships that I have with younger artists. People who grew up appreciating my work. It makes it easy for me to reach out to them and be like, I want you to be in my show. And most of them, without any kind of thought, are down. There's a couple hesitant, but that just means you weren't supposed to be here. Those who were down, like Kyrie, this was the comic book cover for issue number 1. The concept behind the comic book called Black was every black kid, or I think it's the youth, but every kid in this comic book who is black has a superpower. So they are being hunted by the cops, and they have superpowers. So he built in the concept with Trayvon in the hoodie, and the cops are shooting at him. But because he has a superpower, nothing is happening to him. He's there. So if you haven't read that comic book, search for the comic book Black. I think it's up to like 6 issues been finished. It's been compiled. And then the piece Just Do It. That's his twist on the whole Nike concept. I never really explained this piece because I always love to hear what people say. You know, they see a little kid, spotlight on them, boxing gloves. So anybody's concept of it, I love to hear what you think. I never give you my idea on it because Once the artist told me what his concept was, it was far from what I was thinking, but, you know.
You referenced this one.
Yeah, well, that was the piece that when I made it, it inspired me to reach out to others to do the show. Because me sitting down and doing 17 angry pieces like this, I probably wouldn't have left my house. So, this is like I said, it's in your face. It ties in with License to Kill. If you saw the James Bond movie, got the little James Bonds in the back. I did my research on hunting licenses first, and I saw that in certain states, I think it was like Colorado, a hunting license to go out and kill deer and hunting was like only $25. And that was a time period where they were just shooting black kids left and right, and it was like they had a hunting license and they thought they could get away with it. So I'm like, let me just create a piece. And I always dig deep. If you look at 1619, that's the first year that slaves were brought to America. So my pieces always have stuff inside of them that if you do your research, it'll make you think. Yeah.
What was this?
Which one?
You never told us what the artist had in mind.
Which this piece?
Yes, just do it.
I won't tell you what the artist had in mind.
He wants you to come
Like
up
I
with your own.
said, because my vision of what it wasn't what the artist told me. So there's certain pieces where, as an artist, I want you to figure it out yourself. I want you to have your own feeling. Because then it's a dictatorship and I'm giving you my feelings on a piece. I want you to feel it yourself. If you don't feel it, then it wasn't for you either.
I'm sure I'm not feeling what he did.
Okay. But that's cool too. There's pieces you will get and there's ones you won't get. So, anything you want me to explain over here?
Nah, just if you want to talk about any of them, that's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah, there's certain ones where I'm like, you know what happened. Inhale it visually.
Or talk about the artist. Who's the artist?
The brother is Daoud. Around they always mess up his last name, so when I see him, I don't even. Thank you, Anabule. Originally, David Sims back in the early 90s. If you read a comic book called Brother Man, this is one of the co-creators of Brother Man. And during this time period, he was just angry and sick and tired of everything like I was. And he did three separate individual pieces. But when I asked him if they could hang in the show, my vision was just to have them three together. Because it just gave you more to look at visually. It was more powerful to me. And sadly, because, you know, a lot of parents are going through this, I wanted it to be one whole vision that you could take in at one time. All right.
So how long is this here for?
We hung on January 11th, and we are here to February 28th, 29th.
Last of February.
Last of February. Yeah. So a good 2 months.
Anything
Pretty close.
I didn't ask you that you want people to know, experience, or anything?
Nah, I think just from the reactions I've heard, it's doing what I want it to do. I want people to feel and to think, because we get so numb to the fact that they're killing us. Some of us don't feel. And once you feel, it makes you think, and hopefully you enlist other people, you have conversations, you think and talk together, and that makes possibilities endless, boundless.
Wait, thank
I
you.
want one of our young people to tell me what they feel about this. Volunteer, I'll select somebody, especially if you're not looking at me.
So you're gonna put you in the spot, what you think?
Come on.
Y'all feel the pressure?
Do you have any words of inspiration for future aspiring artists?
Well, since you and I spoke, I know you do draw. So, my only inspiration is just keep dreaming. Because when I dream, it allows me to create. Once you stop dreaming, you're not gonna create anything. So, always dream. Don't let anybody shut you down from what you're thinking. Even if in your brain you think your idea is whack, evolve it until it's not whack, you know? So there's never anything, well, let me change that. As a teacher, there are dumb questions. It's just me helping you modify that question where it makes sense and I can guide you. So same thing with your dreams. You think about it, dream it, figure it out, make it work.
We have a teacher here. You said teacher.
Yeah.
Professor,
Yes.
would you like to say something?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I really like this one, and
The one
fact
that no one can figure out?
yeah, you know, because when you look at it, it says the deadly art of survival,
Yeah.
and the fact that he has a light shined on him, but he's forced to fight.
And
So he
he's got
doesn't
gloves
keep
on.
getting into the ring. So the fact that you're knocked down over and over again. So even with me being a college professor, my goal is to teach our people
Yeah.
not only how to write, but how to survive. So one of the references that I give my students is become the bridge that your back is strong enough for someone else to walk over. So that's what that represents for me.
See, that's why it's best I don't tell you what it.
Yeah, that's what I see.
I like that
You know, you
concept.
gotta keep fighting. You gotta keep fighting.
Because a lot of people be like, how is he gonna fight? He's got the gloves on. It's holding him back. It's like, well, boxers fight with gloves on.
Yeah.
So you're looking too deep into it. Just go by what you see and bring it to life from there.
Yeah, the fact that he had to fight without the gloves, but this time he decided to put them on. So that's the bigger battle.
I like that.
So I have a question for the youth, and is there anything that inspired you, that you got something from a particular picture that just did it for you, and you want to speak about it, or that moved you, and why? Anybody?
Just the
And-
whole exhibit. The whole exhibit it's just such an important thing, like just seeing how so many black men and black women just unjustly get murdered, and just taking all of it and not just one thing is really important.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Feel free. This is for y'all. We want to hear what y'all think. Everybody tells us what the youth feel. I want to hear what the youth feel. I want to hear it from y'all. I want everybody to know what y'all feel.
I feel exactly how she felt.
Go
I
ahead.
think she described it perfectly. Because you have to take it in as a whole. And once you see that, then you start to understand that these types of things occur more than you realize, because we're all distracted by like things like social media, television, Netflix, Hulu, all of that type of stuff. So when you come and you surround yourself by stuff like this, you start to think differently. So I'm happy that this is around so people can think differently. Just take your mind off things.
As an artist, how does this influence you? How does this speak to you?
Well, can I speak to that?
Okay.
Well, I don't really know. Everything speaks to me individually, but it gives me kind of like the energy to make more art, like to express myself more. Because I'm not like a person that's constantly drawing, but whenever I feel that, the feeling, that's when I draw. And these are definitely bringing up a lot of emotions. And previously when, what's your name again?
Oh, Andrea Fobbs.
When Andrea Bob said what she felt about this painting, it also like sparked like.
Yeah, it's the whole point of each piece is about a link, and it's an idea, and it's an extension not from the artist, but it's an extension, and what it does, it resonates in each one of us. Because I know the first time I came here, and Tashana said, "Oh, go see the art exhibit and tell me which ones were your favorite pieces," I immediately left. And it kind of changed my concept. I have a master's in public administration, and I focus on public policies. And I work for an organization that kind of goes against some things that I believe in. And then I literally said, I got to change the concept, because it reminded me that I'm not doing enough. So I couldn't even respond to her the first time I saw the exhibit because I was emotional. And, you know, we keep forgetting that this is our lifeline. These are our seeds. Right. So, you know, something like this, even though it's difficult to you know, continue to forget it, we can't, because the policies are not changing. You know, so it starts with one place that then extends outward. And that's important for you guys to do what you gotta do.
Anybody that's here, do you have questions for the artists? Anything?
We were going from the kids to professor. We have one more professor.
Oh, yes.
You know, from A to Z.
Dr. Bob in the house.
So, thank you for giving me the opportunity to join together with the residents of Mount Vernon and broader Westchester to bring to visual form the struggle that we are feeling today. I know it's especially appropriate as we see a resurgence of white supremacy. both in the White House and on the local streets
That's right.
of Westchester County throughout. This art show is part of a tradition of visual arts that traces back to the Harlem Renaissance and even further, by which our people have tried to formulate the values that will steel us for the struggle that we now confront. And I invite everyone, especially the young people, to embrace these more traditional forms of art, but to also experiment with the new forms of art that are made possible through the information revolution and graphics, so that we can begin to mobilize and steel ourselves for the struggle ahead. And I do want to really extend my deepest, sincerest gratitude, not only to the curator of today's show, but also to the trustees of the library for the presence of mind to host this show, because really everyone, is only when we have the courage and resolve to join together as a community
Yes.
Yes.
that we're really gonna be able to face this monster.
That's right.
And it is a monster, y'all. Do not in any way underestimate the struggle and the challenge that's ahead of us. And so this is a start, and I thank you all for allowing me to be a part of it.
Well, I got my own little request. Yeah.
And do me a favor, just say your name again, so we have your name. So
I was just playing, I really don't. Okay. Oh, it's on. When the screen is on? Yeah. Okay, I had that turned off. Okay. So, you know, as visual art, Rondé Curry, once again. Now, as a visual artist, I use pictures to create my images. And it was an image that I wanted to create that me and Dre were talking about. And since I have all you young people here today, I mean, all you kids, young people here today, I want to ask you, can you participate in the reference shot with me? So that's great. So what I'm gonna need you guys to do is just get with me and we'll line up, and I'm gonna pose you guys, and I'm gonna take the picture, and then I'm gonna paint it. What happened, it was a picture on the Time Life magazine, and it would say it was enough already, but it was all white kids. And that happened when the shooting or something happened in, where was it?
I forget where it was.
I forget where it was too, but it was enough already, and it was all white kids, and it was like, well, it's been enough already with us, so what's going on with that? So I have to make that happen. So that's what I want to do. I'm gonna take the picture of you guys, and then I'm gonna paint it, and you guys will see the end result once it's done. So we can start this now.
anybody else? Anything else?
Anyone else? Anyone else has anything to say?
Let's try to get like a
You want to say something?
place with like something
One
white.
more